And
don't see red.
no. So calcium, silicon, copper, cobalt, and was that iodine are all kind of right there in the dead middle. It lines up as okay, but you really kind of going back to where you want to see it green. Mm-hmm. So we definitely could maybe look at these things and just try to boost them a little bit. Okay. The thing that I would point out with him is the lithium, which I see incredibly often with kids on the spectrum, is they're lithium deficient. Now, even though it doesn't show like low, mm-hmm. it is low, and that is definitely a place that we could work on boosting some lithium levels. It helps with our neurotransmitters. Okay. And so some of his stuff.
Yeah, Mineral Essence, I think, has lithium. I'm just going to have to put it in capsules because it tastes bad, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
So, his balance shows acceptable, though we have a few things that we could work on. Vitamin levels, again, acceptable, though we have a few things that we could work on. The A, the B's, B12 is great, C is great, D and E could mm-hmm. use a little bit of work.
Okay.
So.
Lead. Interesting.
Yeah. So, kind of thinking back about his exposure.
So the first house we were in was a much older house, and interesting, a family of like 7 kids lives in there now, a very small house. And I'm like, I'd like to scan them the next time they're here to mm-hmm. see if it could have come from that house.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, and my son eats. He just puts everything in his mouth too.
What?
Yeah. And we know those older homes did have lead-based paint.
Yeah.
And, they've most of the time not done a great job of remediating it. They'll paint over it, but, mm-hmm. The newer paints tend to still peel off of that older lead-based paint. And so potentially, and again, this goes back to this stuff lives in our tissue for a really long time if mm-hmm. we're not being purposeful about detoxing.
So lead toxicity too, Mom.
Yeah.
Just not good for the whole body.
Yeah.
I'll do a little more research into that too.
Yeah. So aluminum, silver, bismuth, cadmium, and then the tin. So, wow. But obviously the lead being the big concern that we want to look at doing some purposeful chelation type stuff with him.
Okay.
His ratios are doing okay. And then oxidative stress, you've got him very good with his oxidative stress and oxidative protection. And then just that recap on the back. So mm-hmm. the big deal obviously is just that global heavy metal burden. Mm-hmm. But he's doing good on all of the other things. So mm-hmm. for Josh, obviously the big thing is maybe working on some lithium and then working on the detoxification.
Okay. How long after we're doing chelation and detoxification would you recommend?
Repeat this? So there's a couple of different guidelines, but the kind of my suggestion would be 3 months.
Okay.
Just you can do it as quickly as a month, but I would say some of these things, if we know he's not been exposed to lead in the last 3 years that you guys have been here, this is something that's been with him a little bit longer. I would say at least 3 months of working through it to make sure that we've got a good chance at repeating this and it being so much better.